Lesson 4.3, I can use linear models to make predictions. Michaela is a speed skater and hopes to compete in the future Olympic Games. She's researched the winning times for the past 50 years. If the trend in faster speeds continues at the same rate, how can she use the information to predict what might be the time to beat in 2026? So take a look at the scatter plot. We can see that there is a relationship between the winning times in minutes and the years after 1960. What kind of relationship do we see? This is a negative relationship or a negative association between the variables. That means as the winning times increase, what happens to the years after 1960? They begin to decrease, exactly. So the first thing that we want to do is to write an equation for the trend line. In order to do that, we want to take a look at where it crosses the y-axis, and we know that that is our approximate y-intercept. And so if we're going to use the slope-intercept form of an equation, we can see it crosses the y-axis at approximately 2.4 minutes. So now we just need to fill in the rest of the information. And that's positive 2.4 minutes. Now we want to figure out what is our rate of change. We can do this by finding points. We can see that there is a point here that we used at 2.4, but we can also see that our line crosses at approximately, we can see that this is 35. So now we just want to find our rise over our run. We can also see that it crosses at approximately 15, so we can use this data as well. I'm going to look at my rise, and we can see that this is going, and we know it's a negative association, so it's going down. So what kind of slope will we have? Negative slope. So we can see it goes down 0.2. And it goes over, or our run is approximately 15. So now we can use this information to calculate our slope. Take your calculators and let's do exactly what this is. 0.2 divided by 15 gives us a slope of 0.013. And then we can see that this is repeating. So you can use this now to make predictions. Use the equation of the trend line to predict what might be the winning time in 2026. What value of x should you substitute? So remember our equation. We had the equation y equals negative 0 or 0.013x plus 2.4. And remember, we want to make a prediction for the winning time in 2026. What do we need to do, or what do we need to calculate or figure out if we know that these values down here are the years after 1960? Yeah, we need to find the difference. We need to know how many years after 1960 is 2026. So let's take our 2026, and we're going to subtract 1960. For a total of 66 years. So we know that here would be 60, and then slightly past that would be 1966. So we want to use our trend line and decide where would this point be. Let's plug in the information. So we know after 66 years, and we know that that's our x value. So we can plug in 66 here. Use your calculators to calculate. Remember, all you're doing is plugging in that information to calculate what should the value in minutes be after 66 years. Use your calculators, plug it in. and we get 1.542, or we might approximate that to be approximately 1.5. So we know that that's going to be about 1.5 minutes. This is how you use your trend line to predict information. Now, assuming that the trend shown in the graph continues, use the equation of the trend line to predict average fuel consumption in miles per gallon in 2025. Do this. Write an equation for your line, and then use that to substitute back into the equation and predict for the year 2025. This example is on your own. One last example. The scatter plot shows the relationship between the number of people at a water park and the temperature. About how many people should the owners of the water park expect at the water park when the temperature is 90 degrees Fahrenheit? Let's take a look at our trend line. All we have to do is come over and find 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and we can look at our trend line. We go all the way up, and we can expect about 800 people. One last example. What does the rate of change, or the slope, represent in the situation? And find the slope. So we know that the slope is the rate of change. What's changing in this graph? Well, we have to look at the labels. And in this case, we're looking at the number of smoothies purchased and the temperature. So we know that it's the change in Y values over the change in X values. That means the number of smoothies purchased at the temperature. So each time the number of smoothies purchased in thousands, the temperature increases by how much? Because we can see that this is what type of association? It's a positive association. Now, let's take a look at and find our slope. We need to find points on the line first. We can see there's a point here on the line where it crosses the grids, and then we can see that there is another point here. Any points in between would also work. So here is a point where it crosses the grid lines. I'm going to choose the two closest together. So we know that it's the change in Y value over the change in X, or the rise over run. So I can see that it goes up from 8 to 32, which is an increase of 24. And our run, it goes over 40. So we have an increase of 24 over 40. You always want to simplify your slope. Remember, we can substitute, or actually we can divide by what's the greatest common factor that they both have. You could divide by 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. 4 goes into 40 10 times. So if we can simplify it again, usually if they're both even, we can divide by 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So we can see that our slope is 3/5, which means 3,000 smoothies, 3,000, I guess we should say 3K, 3,000 smoothies per 5 degrees in Fahrenheit. And that's all. If you have questions, please let me know.